Okay, we're changing a thermostat on a 2006 Envoy Denali 5.3 liter. We're going to need an 8mm socket to get these off. You have a hose connection that comes out and that pops out pretty easy. If that doesn't come off, you can reach down in here and pull that off. Now you take this off, there's a little hold tab on the back. You just pop that up and that comes out. Give it a twist. And boom, that comes right off. Okay, now we gotta take the fan clutch off. So you take your fan clutch tool that you can get at AutoZone or O'Reilly. They rent them all the time. I just take a hammer and give it a quick hit. Sometimes it takes a while. This has a sensor for the fan, so once we get it off, we can make sure that we don't move this too much. We have to keep it tucked inside, or we could break the wires for the sensor that goes over to the fan clutch. It sets right there in the groove of the housing pretty easy. Now we're going to take a 15mm and take off our belt. Pull it over, releases the tensioner, and the belt comes off. And we'll just set that off to the side. Now, thermostat down inside there. We're just going to sit there and let that leak out. Okay, after waiting a while, you can hear that it, see that it's barely leaking. So we'll go ahead and get the rest of this off here. There's our two 10mm bolts. Now we're going to pull the thermostat out. This is a new thermostat, and for some reason it just wouldn't open up. I'm not sure why, but it just wouldn't open up. We're going to go get the new one now. Okay, here's the new thermostat that we have. It's got a little tin on it right here, or a little indentation, and that has to go in the thermostat housing, and it has that right there by the bolt. So take this, put it around through here, spin it till it gets in there like so. Now I take this and slide it back up in there. Now this I'm going to try to do one-handed so you can see. So we're going to leave the thermostat housing a little way, and there I've got first bolt started. Okay, I'm going to tighten this up by hand to make sure that we got the thermostat set in there. As soon as I know that we got it centered, which I know we do. Now we're going to get a socket and ratchet and just make sure it's nice and snug. And there we go. Now we're going to put the belt on. One thing you want to do is make sure that the serpentine belt's in all the grooves on every pulley. And I usually take my hand and feel, and just like this, the power steering pump pulley, it's not sitting in that one right. So we got that one right, and there the crank pulley, it's not sitting in there correctly. Boom. There. Now we're going to start the fan. Slide it up in there. Slowly rotate it. Now we're going to take the tool and the hammer, just and beat it on a few times. They got a coolant line coming off the head. So what I like to do is I'll take it off so I can get all the air out of the system, and I'll hold this up out of the way, and then I'll fill up the cooling system through the radiator until it starts bubbling out here, and then I know my thermostat and my block and everything is full of fluid. There we go, we got a little bit of fluid just coming out of it right now. I'm gonna put the hose back back on. Now we're going to put the air cleaner housing on. Make sure you get the bottom started and to the top, because you want to make sure you don't get this caught underneath, and then it won't make a good connection, and then you'll have unmetered air going to the engine. And then we do the same over here, and we have to line up the little push tab over here that holds it. Got it in place. Don't forget our vacuum hose right here. Breather. That's a breather for the crankcase. All right, now we'll fill it full of coolant and start it up. All right, now we're gonna let it sit here and idle for a while, and we'll check back in to see if it opens up. Okay, so the thermostat was our problem. I just changed it, fire it up, let it run for a while. It's staying right at 210 degrees. Everything's looking good.